barbershop conversation, guys. Feel free to subscribe. So I'm gonna have some fun with this. I just heard. Oh, I'm not done with it, but I'm watching Ticket's video about the game yesterday. He said everyone who says needs to everyone who says they cheated needs to be Chetto needs to be revoked. They'll talk about basketball. Well, I mean, that's his discretion. I and what I will say is this: 7 for 44 game plan needs to be changed. You're 100% correct. I'm not. That's a non-negotiable. Both of us can be right in this situation. They shot 7 for 44. Yes, they have Mike D'Antoni has a donut mentality, all sweet on the perimeter, nothing in the middle. He's a glazed donut, right? That's the type of basketball that he plays. I'm talking about 3 calls in the game, and it was very apparent. Chris Webber, Marv Albert, and Reggie Miller agrees with me on those exact calls. The illegal screen. See, whenever the play is ISO with 3 referees, whenever the play is isolated, meaning it's not in traffic, it's not in the paint, typically around the perimeter, those calls are easy to make. And with 6 eyes, those perimeter calls should be made. And that's all I'm suggesting. I thought that was an illegal screen by George Bell. He was actually moving on the play. That call gets called 9 out of 10 times. We see that call in damn near every game when they run that floppy action on the baseline and a guy steps in late to set a staggered screen and boom, they get called for the offensive foul, right? We see that 9 out of 10 times, right? That call should have been made, right? Now, on James Harden took 3 threes, I thought that should have been called. The and one that he made, that should have been a 4-point play. George Bell, he took the first one, he hit him on the body. That was an absolute foul because that was the same call that they called in the first half. And they called about 4 times in game 6, if you guys remember correctly. Nick Young got that call for and against him in game 6. And Nick Young is my friend. So I'm attempting to be unbiased. I'm just going to lay the railroad down, lay the railroad tracks down. Okay. On the second one, this is the Kevin Durant rule, right? Whenever someone hand checks you, you put your shooting hand underneath it and you raise up, you get the foul. Everyone does it, and James Harden should have gotten that call. And that's all I'm saying. You're right. Mike D'Antoni should have changed up his game plan. But similar to boxing, if you get hit with a low blow on the 3rd attempt, they should take a point away, right? Or if you knock someone down and they slip, or it's a perception of slip and you don't get the knockdown, right? Or you get a knockdown and your glove touches and they don't call the knockdown, that's a knockdown. You just want credit for what you actually earned. And that's all I'm suggesting. 7 for 44 from the 3-point line is unacceptable. Missing 27 in a row is completely unacceptable. But outside of that, I think, in addition to that, they deserve their free throws. James Harden deserved those free throws. That offensive foul on Steph Curry in the right corner in front of the Houston bench deserved to be called. And the game is won on 2 or 3 calls anyway in a game 7 if it's not a blowout. And that game wasn't a blowout. And if he gets those calls, remember, it's the mail. If he gets those calls, wow, a lot of mail there. If he gets those calls, the lead goes to 20. Remember, they didn't get that call, and I think someone came down and made a 3 and cut it to 12, if you guys remember correctly. So if James Harden makes those 3 free throws, the lead is 18. 12 and 18 is a completely different game plan, a completely different mindset. There's more climbing up the hill, and I think Golden State might still win the game, but coming back from 11 as opposed to 18 is a big deal, right? And it would have been a one possession game in the fourth quarter either way. I think a one or two possession if those calls are made, and we find out who wins. But you know, hindsight's always 2020, and that's just what I believe. So I do believe they earned those calls. I believe James Harden earned those calls. I believe George Bell set an illegal screen on the perimeter, which I thought should have been called. I thought he made a great pass in between the legs in the opposing corner on the very next play. So that's just what I believe. And if you earned it, you deserve it. That's it. That's all I'm saying. So at the end of the day, everyone will be judged on what they actually did, and those are called statistics. James Harden, I believe, was 12 for 29. Trevor Ariza was 0 for 9, 0 for 12 from the field. The starting small forward in the NBA should at least give you 10 to 15 points a game, right? So from that respect, you have to deal with adversity. You have to fight through adversity. But 10 points is a lot to make up. Actually, if you think about it, it's 13 points because of the offensive foul should have been called. So, but I think James Harden got 2 free throws because they were in the bonus on that 4-point play. I thought that 4-point play should have counted. Chris Webber and Reggie Miller actually agreed. The rule was actually Reggie Miller has a great understanding of that rule because he got a lot of success prior to this rule being implemented. He fully understands it, and the way he elaborated on the telecast basically said James Harden should have got the 4-point play. James Harden should have got those 6 free throws in the first half. So that's all I'm saying. So Ticket, feel free. I'm not sure if you watched my video, but I watched yours. But I just believe that. So let me know what you think. If you're posting me up, just because I'm small and I follow you, you still have the right to your and one, right? Right? I'm going to do everything I can. I believe you say you're 6'7". So if you're 6'7", I'm 5'7". You have a foot advantage over me. And if you pin me down on the screen and roll and I follow you, if I chop you on a spin and you make the shot, you deserve the and one, right? It's real simple. And no one complains, right? But if you don't get in, you make it, we complain, but we still move forward with the game because you made the layup. So that's all I'm saying. You earn it, you deserve it. James Harden earned it in the first half. He got tired in the second half. Everything is a fact. But those free throws should have been granted to him. And so that's just what I feel. Anyways, man, barbershop conversations, man. Feel free to hit the subscribe button. And talk to you guys soon. Peace.